Welcome back to the Gunn Show, my friends. It's good to see you all. Well, I'm pretending. I'm using my imagination that I can see you. You can see me. I got Eddie with me today. Eddie's a superstar. Without him, I'm not sure where I'd be. Right, Eddie?
Probably be in Florida.
He might have a point. But today we got my buddy Paul Hendricks. He's president of Creston. We're going to dive into a little bit about the show that we're surrounded by right now, with everyone smiling, enjoying their lives. But most importantly, I think we're going to dive into some of the issues you guys have on the shop floor that maybe we can help remedy. Certainly, we're going to talk about it. You can decide if we've had any. We'll figure it out later. Paul, good to see you, buddy.
Tony,
How are you,
good to see you, man.
Yes, sir.
Eddie?
You and Eddie are friends already,
yeah,
right?
we know Eddie.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It's good to see you again. Great to have you back in Grand Rapids.
I love it. I love
Everybody
it.
knows
August
Eddie.
in Michigan doesn't get any better, I don't think. So.
I do love it. I love it, man.
August
Beautiful
in
place to be.
Michigan.
Beautiful place to be.
I love Michigan. I think this. I was telling Eddie on the way here. I think this is my favorite city in all of Michigan. I love going to all the way to the north, right on the Canadian border in the summertime. I think it's a beautiful area.
That's good up there.
But as far as like cities go, metropolises, I think Grand Rapids is my favorite in Michigan.
Yeah, we got it all here. We got the nice city and good restaurants, but then you go a half hour away and you're right on the beach, and some of
You
the
guys
best
call
beaches.
that a beach?
I do.
It is a big lake.
I would rival it with any beach. So you got to go out to Grand Haven or Saugatuck or Sleeping Bear, and it's amazing. So.
This
Not
is
so great in January.
This
though.
is not part of manufacturing, but now I'm going to get into something because all of my Midwestern friends think they have a beach, and I live in Florida. I think a beach is where there's salt water. I would love for you guys to leave in the comments if a beach includes these big freaking lakes they have up here in Illinois and Michigan. You're probably gonna say that Paul is right, and it makes sense. For me, an ocean has always been, a beach has always been the salt water. So leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Moving on. Paul, let's talk about this show.
Yes.
You've been around doing this quite a while now.
Yeah,
it's an
almost 10
exciting
years.
event. Eddie hyped me up like crazy about 5-6 months ago or something like that. He's like, dude, you got to see this show. And this is several for you as well now, Eddie.
Absolutely. Been here the past couple of years. It's growing every single year. It's nice to see some familiar faces, but also new brands emerging into it. And then also the brands that are currently here expanding their presence. It's just cool to see the additions every single year. And I love just being a part of it. It's a lot of fun.
All right, let's find out the genesis, the growth. What's it been like?
Almost 10 years ago, I had taken my whole team down to a show, more of a national show, and it was a big deal to get there. It cost us a lot of money, and we were seeing a lot of our customers not able to do it because of the burden of driving down, and we're like, you know what, there's probably a better solution here. So we went down this path of a regional type show that could draw more people out of our customers and of these manufacturing facilities and show them all the latest in technology paired with metalworking and automation, because if you're not doing automation, you got to be doing that if you're in a shop, and making it free to attend and right here in Grand Rapids. So we started that with that idea, and then the idea of really taking care of the exhibitors that come, and making it an easy, great experience for them at a good cost for them to really get a good ROI. So benefits everybody all around. Started doing that, and been seeing it grow every single year since then. And now we're up to one of our largest shows ever this year. So we're doing well. On the metalworking hall side, we have almost 140 booths sold, and we, all the latest technology. We've ramped up the machine tools here, so we have a lot of live machine tool demos. And for those who don't know, for those who do know, it's a lot of work to move one of those machines around.
It is indeed.
If you were here on Monday, we had, I think 1 million pounds of equipment rolling through. We had 20 semi-tractors jockeying around all over here. There were huge machines that weigh, 150,000 pounds wandering around and getting rigged up, and just for all these demos, live demos. So
I want to bring up something because, Eddie, when you first brought this show up to me, and I talked with Joni as well, you said you're a regional show, you had an idea, but you have a national mindset. That's what I think is important for people to understand, because you brought that up to me when I said, it's a regional show, we're going to do some podcasting. What sets you guys apart? What angle can we take to talk to people about coming to the show? And Joni and Eddie were both like, because we invest in making sure that everyone's taken care of, which you
Yes.
did mention.
The experience.
And the experience, we invest in making sure that it's seen on all of the social media platforms, that marketing is done for it as well. You have a national mindset, although it's a regional location, right?
Correct. Yeah. Obviously, anybody who wants to, one of the great things about this, we touched on it earlier, is it's in August in Michigan. So if you're going to travel to a show, you might as well do it in August in Michigan. Like I said, no better spot. So we do pull a lot of folks in from around the country. We have some people in from around the world here. We have an exhibitor in from Germany, who I think you guys will be talking to with SimSource. And yeah, as we go to market and we look at how to draw in, we just focus on who's going to get value from coming here, who's going to see, help be able to bring stuff back into their shops and improve their productivity and make themselves better. And if they're going to do that, we're going to try and target them to trying to get them here and give them a good experience.
Yeah, it's valuable. And I think of this as a very traditional mindset moving to the future of how trade shows work, right? And I think about if I'm a machine shop right now and I own a machine shop, and I've never owned a machine shop, but I've ran several machine shops. And being the top guy in those machine shops, I know how difficult it is to have to call 100 different people or look in 100 different catalogs, or even though I'm on the video side now, watch 100 different videos to try and learn what's going on, Paul. So to be able to come here and to know that you dedicate the space to bring in solutions for everyone, if they come walking through your machine shops, whether it's regional or national, want to come through, they're going to find solutions, right? And that to me is the point, and that to me is the part of this conversation, Eddie, that we want to dive into, because you have a solutions-based mind. Distributorship, we're talking Creston, we're talking making sure that everyone's taken care of. But let's talk about on the floor, boots on the ground, some of the struggles that you see right now when you walk into machine shops.
Well, yeah, I think that there's a number of them out there. There's a few headwinds in the industry. We have our customers that have some nice tailwinds on them, but we're struggling with some.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chicago, Illinois, this is IMTS.
The point of us being here today is because we're doing Faces of the Industry. Talking with MC and Bonnie, they want to see as much representation amongst everyone as we can. And what better to offer that than MTDCNC with a global channel and people all over the world. In fact, today we're representing Canada, Mexico, US, and Pakistan.
23 years in manufacturing, I actually go to IMTS this year with you, with everybody here at this table, and we get to go to all of these different booths. But it's just, the theme this year, every booth I go to, everyone's talking about partnership, everyone's talking about collaboration, not just working with us, but working with partners in industry. They're all finding ways that their products complement each other, how they can support the customer better, and that has had me so revved up all week. I mean, my voice is gonna die. I wanna go to bed, but at the same time, I cannot pull it back. I am just blown away by the experience.
Our customers are struggling with some things I think everybody, is hearing about. I think a lot of people are. Costs are going up. The products that we supply, the raw materials, and everything that goes around it is going up at a pretty, pretty tremendous rate. And we're trying to find a way, and it seems easy. Okay, just pass on these price increases to everybody. Pass them all down the chain. But that's not how it works. It's very difficult to do that, and it's very difficult for our customers. So we're trying to find solutions for them on this, and really it just comes down to that, finding value and, finding ways to be more productive with what we have. Whether it be a machine that you have, and if we can find a solution here at the show to increase the throughput of that machine, or increase decrease the cycle time, or something to make that more efficient, that's one way that can really impact organizations' ability to absorb some of these costs. Labor's going up. I mean, if somebody's trying to build a new building right now versus 5 years ago, they could be getting some big sticker shock. We've seen people that have, built a building or bought a building and they need to add on, and they're all of a sudden like, oh my God, that's more than my building cost to add on to it. So let's do more with less.
What do you think are some of the, if we're going to think of maybe a blanket statement, Paul, what do you think are some of the areas where people can find ways to reduce these? There's some areas we cannot reduce costs. It's just,
Yes.
it's the way it is. We're trying to bring everything back to the U.S., or at least a majority of it. We're trying to do more of the lower cost items here domestically. We know that there's going to be costs, but there are ways in other avenues of a machine shop to reduce those costs. I think automation is a buzzword we hear all the time. We're starting to hear AI. We start to hear machine monitoring. We're starting to hear, paperless quoting and ERPs. There's been Eddie, I don't know. I love your socks. He's got Ritz cracker socks. All right.
Delicious.
That was delicious. When I've been in machining for the last 25 years, Paul, I've seen a constant evolution or growth between software, cutting tool sides like geometries and being able to cut better, and machine tools. And they're constantly doing like this within the industry. They're competing with each other. Currently, in my opinion, I see almost a level playing field in that world, but the next step, or the next industrial revolution, as I think some people are calling it, is digital. And we're seeing a lot of that right now. Where would you say that some of these costs can be reduced by investing in certain areas of manufacturing?
Sure. So on those three pillars that you talk about, it's always fun seeing them improve and at a race. I like how you put that a lot. So from our standpoint, let's look at maybe more of I think the automation and the AI integration into automation and helping with the programming and everything like that. I don't have a lot of expertise on that, but in our business alone, we're doing workflow optimization and trying to take redundant tasks away with AI. And I think that any of our customers and anybody needs to be working on that because that allows our talented team to focus on more valuable things than maybe just repeat keying something in, doing something. We're trying to use AI enhanced automation for us. For our customers, when we talk automation, we could talk about those types of things with programming, optimization, but we can also talk about here at the show with all the automation with the robots and the cobots and everything like that. So I think that those folks are focused on that. The other side of it that we're trying to get the word out on this is that there tends to be this idea of, when you're buying a consumable product, that we should be looking for very price conscious on this. So if we're going to go and we're going to find a tool or a drill or an end mill to do this job, we have to be very careful on how much we're paying because we could be using 20, 30, 40 a week, a day, whatever it is, and that adds up. And all of a sudden, your tooling spends are millions of dollars for some customers. And what we have to think about is not the cost of the tool, but the cost of how much it costs to produce the part, and the cost per hole, or something like that. Look at the overall productivity, and we find a number of solutions out there for people when we're in, and we have extremely talented reps that are out there helping apply these products, and they can find solutions that might cost a little bit more money, but if it lasts 4 times longer, in the long run, we're much better off. And so we go out and we'll document those cost savings for these individuals, and we can show them tangible benefits there. And then we just keep doing that. And so, yeah, you might pay a little more, but let's reduce the cost. And that's the idea. There is a lot of good technology out there that, can be more optimized in a lot of these facilities. So,
I agree, Paul. Before I go off on another tangent, Eddie, you got anything for Paul?
Yeah, I'm really curious. So with you being connected to so many, not only brands, but also lots of end users, I like to consider myself an optimistic realist with an emphasis on the realism so I can keep my feet on the ground and head in the clouds. Now, as we do the same thing here, and you having such a wide perspective of manufacturers, specifically at the spindle, and it's easy for us to say and to focus on some of the problems and the challenges, I am curious if there's a dash of optimism within you, and if so, what do you have to say about the future of manufacturing with that dash of optimism?
Yeah, there's definitely, I have to caveat it that I am an optimistic guy in general. So I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think that there was real good opportunity out there. So if, when I look at it between what's reality and what could be, there's a gap there. There is a lot of products. Every day we go in places and we find where there's something that could be optimized that's not. So if we're doing that day in and day out, there's a lot of room to grow and get more efficient and to improve. And one of the ideas was for this show was, hey, right now, if we come in, we might bring one person in or one product in, maybe even if we're like really good, we're bringing one a day in for somebody. And that's a lot, right? And so that means that if I'm coming in there and even like once a week, I might only get you like in front of like 30 or 40 different things at a shop. Here, I can get you in front of 200. We can get an idea together collaboratively, and then we could take that and take it offline and run through some options that we have to improve. So I challenged all of our customers to come with their problems, with their biggest problems. Come here and let's see if we can solve them and see if we can improve their operation and drive true value. That's the idea.
Love it.
Hey there, manufacturers. Need to sell your surplus CNC machinery? Whether it's vertical machining centers, CNC lathes, or machines from top brands like Yazda, Matsur, or Watchon, let me introduce you to Revelation Machinery. If you've never worked with a used machinery dealer before, here's what you're missing. Selling equipment on your own can mean long waits, low offers, and lots of time chasing leads. Revelation Machinery changes the game, bringing nationwide exposure to your machines. Their team is located across the USA, so wherever you are, you've got a local expert on your side. Revelation doesn't just list your equipment, they use targeted marketing methods to get your machines in front of serious buyers. Revelation Machinery is committed to fair pricing, full transparency, and taking care of the details. From paperwork to logistics and even rigging if you need it, they're there every step of the way so you're not juggling any part of the process alone. Ready to let a trusted partner handle the heavy lifting? Head to revelationmachinery.com/The Gunn Show to see how easy it is to turn that surplus machinery into cash with Revelation Machinery. It's a curiosity for me, Paul, and I'm not sure if I want to go down this path or not, because it does create complication in the conversation, and there's a lot of shops out there that don't know what they don't know. They think that they're doing everything right, and to be fair, we have, and for good reason, we have a lot of egos in this industry, and sometimes they either won't admit it or don't want to talk about what they're doing wrong, because there is so much growth in technology right now. The reason I bring it up like that, Paul, is because we can come here and we can learn a lot. And you're right, every single shop needs some fine tuning and some tweaking, every single one of them. There is not a shop out there right now that's doing everything perfect, and they know that. How do we make sure to support U.S. manufacturing that people have the confidence and the realistic appreciation for machining, that they can come in and when they walk away, they know that they spent valuable time that's going to help their shop specifically, because everyone's issues are a little bit different. I know this is a really broad style question, but I walk in, much like yourself, I walk into shops all the time and I go, man, I want to fix that for you. This is something else we could fix. But if I bring it up, we're good. We're good enough. We're doing what we want to do. We're about 70% right now. We're good. I don't want to invest in the future. I have to worry about right now because my costs are getting higher. How do we take that step into the next room?
Well, we have to be realistic about a few things, right? One, when you walk into that shop, most of the time those guys are like, I don't have time for this. I got to get stuff out the door,
hear that
right?
all the time.
So, and that's a real thing. We can talk about it all we want, but that's a real thing. The other side of it is we have to talk about the cost of investment on some of these technology programs that we're talking about. An automation cell, while is critical, I think, for the future of a lot of our customers. It's still a very sizable investment, not just in the equipment that you buy, like a cobot or a robot, but the amount of effort and dollars that it takes to program that and build an infrastructure around that and everything can be high, and there's risk with any investment that you have like that. So if you're going to put something like that in, you want to know that you're going to get the life out of it. But what if you're dealing with a job that may or may not be around or something like that? So it can slow things down. So I do not think that this is a segment of folks that are just like burying their head in the sand and not wanting to. I think that this is just trying to build enough confidence in knowing what they're doing and knowing what they're going to be capable of and knowing what the ROI will be. So, but that's on some of the capital side of things. On the other part of it, it's really like, I think we should be more focused on the data. That's why when we do the cost savings, we like to document it. We like to show tangible benefits instead of just something up in the air. And if we start doing that one at a time, it tends to start rolling, and you start that continuous improvement. And by the time you know it, 1, 2, 3 years from now, you're deep into a culture of improving things. And now all of a sudden you're testing against something that you already got a huge cost savings on a couple years ago, but it's like, hey, that's not good enough. Let's keep going. And we push our teams to do that sometimes. And we're guilty of it too at Creston. Sometimes we can get comfortable. We had a big win 2 years ago. We found something that, oh my gosh, we're going to save you $300,000-$400,000 a year in cost savings because of this one operation we've been able to optimize together. Well, then all of a sudden 2 years goes by and it's like, we got to be thinking about, okay, is there something new technology that we found to go against that? Sometimes, and we're guilty too, sometimes it's hard to do that, but that's the mindset I'm trying to drive and I want to see out there.
We've all had the fear of the boat anchor, right?
Yeah.
That was the first part of the conversation of you implemented a robot or a cobot, the job changed and it sits in the corner and is an $80,000 investment that's now a boat anchor. So that everyone hears that story and then takes a step back because they don't want it to be them. To your point about tooling, literally had a customer that saved 80% of their yearly cost by investing in a machine that was able to do that. Mm-hmm. So one of my pet peeves, Paul, is when somebody thinks about tomorrow only and not a year from now or 5 years from now, because you're right. And we had this conversation earlier as well, Eddie, because I think we're going to see a lot of this throughout the next couple of days also. Is the point of seeing the future and seeing what my cost savings are going to be a year from now and not what my cost cost me today.
Yes.
This is something that I think we need, but nobody wants to be in that boat where they say, well, I spent $100,000 and it didn't work, right? So that's kind of the game, the cat and mouse game we're playing right now. We all want to save 80% of our consumable costs, but we are a little bit afraid to spend 10 times more on day one for a result that could be 100 times better.
Yes. Yeah, I like to say there's a difference between price and cost.
Absolutely. I love it.
And you have to be mindful of that, but we also have to recognize the realities of the situations. You know, do we have the manpower to do that within these organizations? You know, how far, are we struggling to just keep up? You know, what are the things that are going on? But what I can tell you is that I believe that every place has the ability to have somebody come in, or even just like the little ability to come and spend 2 hours coming through this show and looking for like one thing that they can apply to improve. And even that step, all the way to the massive, like full investments going all the way in on this, you just got to figure out, and you got to be doing something in between there. And I think that if you continue to do that, I think everybody can get better. And that's what we want to help with. So that's really kind of the vision that we have, is to bring true value on some of this stuff. But yeah, to your point, if you walk in somewhere and we're just like, nope, this is the way we've always done it, it gets to be challenging. But I am always asking, like, okay, what's the reasoning behind this? And just trying to understand, what's driving that. And if it's truly like, hey, I'm unwilling to adopt any of this, then yeah, maybe there's not much we can do. But usually when you get a little further below the surface, there's more going on, and we can do some pretty easy things. It's like, okay, yeah, we can't put a whole automated cell in. Okay, we can't do that. But we can tweak this process a little bit and find a little bit more here, and then a little bit more here, and a little bit more here, and optimize your inventory management so you're not counting tools. We're automating the ordering process, and then we're automating this, and then all of a sudden, it's just a little bit at a time. Is the way I think that some places just need to go when you walk in those folks. So I tell you, what do they say when you how do you eat an elephant? Is one bite at a time, right? So
Can we eat elephants?
I don't know.
One bite at a time, clearly.
Have you tried? I think it's gonna be tough meat.
I have to season
Never
it a little
tried.
bit.
How do you get that meat tender?
The statement stands nonetheless. Ever true in manufacturing as well.
Yep.
What are you seeing out there, Eddie?
Today's episode is powered by Phillips Haas Training, trusted by over 3,000 machinists, programmers, and engineers who actually know what they're doing. We're talking hands-on CNC training, 100 5-star Google reviews, and a perfect 10 out of 10 rating. Check it out at phillipscorp.com/Tony Gunn. But here's the truth. Downtime is a thief. It steals productivity, profits, and patience. But Phillips Haas Training is the locksmith. Their expert-led hands-on courses cover alignment, electrical diagnostics, troubleshooting, and programming. The stuff that actually keeps machines running instead of collecting dust. Over 3,000 pros have been through it, dropping 100 5-star reviews and giving it a flawless 10 out of 10. Shops even report up to 50% downtime reduction. That's not even training. That's a license to print money. Learn more at phillipscorp.com/Tony Gunn. Phillips Haas Training. Fewer breakdowns, more breakthroughs, and your machine's running smoother than a Black Sabbath riff. Less downtime, more uptime, more profit.
Man, it's so interesting because I'm hearing a lot of the similar things that you're seeing. Now, from a marketing perspective, what I love the most is there are some ambitious brands out there that are not necessarily pumping the brakes, they're pumping the gas in a lot of great ways. And because we learned during COVID when everybody just kind of sat on their hands and wondered what to do, I truly believe the brands that turned up the volume and pushed a little bit harder during those times saw those benefits because they were thinking about the cost in the future and not just focusing on right now. And I think that that's massive. And to be able to connect that to manufacturing in general, it's ever relevant because a lot of engineers would say that a lot of things were a couple years behind in a lot of sectors, and marketing is no different to that. But it is intriguing to be able to see the connection and how you're drawing those solutions and pushing things forward because you're introducing these shops to a lot of things that they don't consider because it's the way they've always done it. So I think you're in a really good position to be in the forefront, to see what the latest and greatest is, but also to be the educators of that next wave of understanding. So I think it's a pretty interesting position that you're in, as long as you're maintaining your optimistic reality.
Yeah, it's been, there's, like I said before, there's been some headwinds in the industry and some specific industries, and there's some challenges there. We, us at Creston, we can help with some of it, but we're not experts on their entire organization. To be honest, our customers are the experts on most of this. We're just trying to connect them with people that can help, and that even grows beyond what Creston's offering is. This show here has a significant amount of things that can help manufacturers that I truly know nothing about. So it's really that's how do we expand that reach a little bit? And okay, I can help you this much, but how do we keep doing that? Because I believe that, and I think you hit on a little bit more, this is more than just, my customers, and this is more than just Grand Rapids, this is more than just regional, this is like US manufacturing. How do we get better together? And we have to do it through those 3 pillars that you said. We have to adopt technology more and get uncomfortable, and
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Correct. And then we have to continue to look for the latest machine tool options out there, and then the latest consumable cutting tool options that can really improve the productivity of those things. And that's what we're focused on.
You know, as you clear your throat, you have a really amazing
Oh, yeah.
ceramic Gun Show mug
I
right
know,
there.
I'm-
Water,
I'm
yeah,
feeling
yeah.
this here, so.
There's a shameless plug for you, Eddie. I'm going to touch on both of those subjects as we close this out. We're winding up our time. When it comes to the marketing side of things, we all know when this video is released, when this podcast is released, the conditions aren't going to change overnight of what we're all going through with these tariffs and this reshoring and these conversations of doing better. It's going to exist. We're going to release these videos very, very soon. So these videos aren't coming out 3 years from now. They're coming out very, very soon. So with that being said, we know reshoring is happening. When reshoring is happening, and I saw this chart the other day, that the COVID drop and spike is mimicking the current tariff drop and spike. And we are right now on the upswing, same as we were in COVID. So if they mirror each other, we're about to come out of all this chaos. And if that is true, those who, when like the stock market being down, invested in marketing while the stock market is down, or while everything is down right now in manufacturing, they're going to be the first people that you think of when you're ready to buy new products, which is coming very soon. So those of you who marketed, as Eddie said during this time, kudos to you, because you will be the first that everyone calls. That's how it currently works. That's how it always works. Now, when it comes to technology, we know for a fact that we are reshoring right now. We know for a fact we're bringing it back. And there are shops out there as I go in, Paul, that don't have enough resources to get all the work done. They're working overtime. And I go into other shops, and the seasoned engineers and degreed engineers and 5-axis machinists are sweeping floors because they haven't upgraded their shop to bring in the reshoring to make it cost effective for them to bring in parts, because they could still do it less expensively elsewhere. So for those shops out there who have decided to invest in what Paul has described today and say, we're going to double down on technology. We're going to understand our shop's tribal knowledge, put it into data software, understand our ERPs, get our tooling processes automated so we're not doing it hand by hand. We don't have all this paper floating around. You guys are going to have success immediately if you're not already. This is what happens when you implement both the marketing side, you're going to be seen, and both the actual physical side of all the tooling and products is you're going to have the work. It's here, it's now, it's not the future. You have to pay attention. You can't just say, oh, woe is me, I'm not getting it done, I don't get the work. Get your butts out there, get your marketing done, and invest in the technology. That's why we're here. That's why we yell. That's why I'm losing my voice right now. It's because we talk about it so often. Paul, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
Absolutely a
Tony.
pleasure. You are
Eddie,
awesome. Eddie,
seeing you.
always a pleasure
Tony,
doing
nice
this show with
meeting
you.
you. Yeah, it
Thank
was
you so
great.
much. Can you do a clap for us at the end with your butt cheek?
Let me squat first.
Yeah.
I love to mess with Eddie. He's probably my best friend in all the industry. Don't tell all my other best friends that I told that to.
Only one.
Pleasure, Paul. Thank
Yeah.
you so much,
Thanks,
brother.
guys. Yeah. You too.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Gun Show. Thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and supporting the manufacturing movement that keeps the world turning. We couldn't do this without you, or without our incredible sponsors who believe in this mission as much as we do. Big thanks to Revelation Machinery, bringing the auction hammer down on deals so good it feels like daylight robbery, but legal. Whether you're buying or selling, they've got your back. To Ebita Growth Systems, your factory's secret weapon for scaling up profits, leadership, and sanity. Because spreadsheets don't fix culture, but these guys might. To AMT and IMTS, the innovators behind the biggest show in manufacturing. If you want to see the future, you show up at IMTS. To NTMA, the voice of precision manufacturers across the U.S., fighting for shops like yours every single day. To TECMA, Mexico's premier machine tool exhibition, bridging borders and bringing global technology closer to home. To Shop Floor Coffee, the only coffee that tastes like a 5-axis machine running lights out on a Monday morning, delicious and dedicated to workforce development. And last but never least, the American Precision Museum, honoring the roots of American manufacturing while inspiring the next generation to build what's next. Powered by MTDCNC and fueled by passion, this is The Gun Show. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep making things that move the world.